All right. Let's see if we got good audio this week. Yeah. See if that guitar level's good for you. See if that's a good level for everybody. I think it is. Let some folks get in here. Hope everyone's having a great week here. Back live from the Woodshed. And I wanted to talk about like stage fright, red light syndrome, demo love, how to overcome and kind of always try to give your best. It's challenging and it's something that some guys don't struggle with and some guys do struggle with, or it's the thing where it hits you when you don't realize when it's going to hit you and all those kind of things. Hope everybody's doing great. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm going to start this episode and I haven't played this tune in a long time. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I haven't. But a good friend of mine passed this weekend, and her name is Betsy. And Betsy was just the matriarch for a good friend group of ours. And the sweetest, kindest person, one of the good lights in the world. And we got the news Friday. It was out of nowhere. And so this next song, or I guess the first song, my words are fumbling, sorry. This was one of her favorites, and I'd like to try to play it for her, even though I probably won't do it justice. This one's for Betsy. Yeah. Ooh. That one kind of hurts. Yeah, she was a great lady. So, yeah, boy, it's tough when the emotions get you. So talking about those things, man, it's like it's a lot of times when you're thinking about like recording or live streaming, for instance, or performing and playing a show, it gets in your head about, you know, you only get one take. It's the live without the net thing, but I think that's what makes music magical. Obviously, there's studio stuff that's incredible. And I was talking to my friend Travis Toy about this last night. Kind of turn this thing around. Travis Toy and I were kind of mentioning, you know, where does it start and end, and just music. And to me, it's really about the live performance, whatever that means. To me, it is live streaming. It's playing a show. It's being a hired gun for an artist, or it's playing at a bar, or, you know, playing at the Guitar Sanctuary. I see our Guitar Sanctuary friends in the house tonight. I just played there a couple of weeks ago. And you make an album to play live, to me. You create things to go play live. It all ends, to me, the live performance aspect of music is the Super Bowl. Like, that's why you practice. That's why you make songs. I don't make songs to create them and then shuffle them off into a drawer on the internet somewhere and never play them again. To me, it's very much about the live performance. And so this ties in with the topic for today, which is how to overcome stage fright, how to be present in the moment. You know, playing guitar is hard, playing music is hard, and conveying emotion is challenging. And you can get in your own head, and then you look down and you're like, I know the notes, or your hands are shaking, or whatever it may be that's kind of preventing you from connecting with the instrument and the audience. And how do you get past that? The short answer is you do it all the time. And I think that goes without saying. The more you do something, the more natural it gets, and the more you get comfortable with being in the moment. And you don't look at the red light. Red light syndrome is very much like the recording. You get afraid when it's time to hit record, right? It's how do you get in the zone? Maybe that's another way to look at it. Like, how do you stay there? How do you stay in the zone and play in the moment? There's several ways around this that I've found that have been effective for me, at least. One is feel like you're playing for somebody, and treat the stage, treat the audience as a gift, like as a gift. You know, it's like the audience isn't there to worship you or glorify you or bring you praise. It's actually quite the opposite. I feel that music is something you've made, and you're a host, and you invited people over to your house, and you want to host them and give them a good meal, right? That's what all this stuff, like the music thing, the connection thing, the fellowship, the camaraderie, the community of it all. That's what it all kind of boils down to. And that to me helps me overcome any kind of nerves or stage frights type of things, is just taking a second and realizing that you're making something for somebody, and you want it to be as good as possible. And so if you take away that aspect of, I hope I don't mess up, like, that's not really a real thing, because every player messes up. Every single player messes up. If you've ever seen a player that lived a perfect life that never hit a bad note, then you've not seen them play. You haven't. You've only heard things that have been corrected or caught them on a good night. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a good night and not hit a bad note, but you're never not going to hit a bad note. I saw Guthrie Govan play many times because I would do clinics with him. And in my opinion, when it comes to just sheer facility, for lack of a better word, just sheer facility and capability, I think Guthrie is the strongest on the planet. I've just never seen anything like that guy. That's just my opinion. But I heard Guthrie hit bad notes, and I was like, God, even Guthrie has hit a flub. And that gets back to like, oh yeah, well, it's just not a flub so much as it is just a moment in time. And if you get past the aspect of, I hope I don't mess up, or that's not how it goes, or I hit this thing wrong, how am I supposed to continue? It's like you're missing the point of what you're trying to do. And unfortunately, what that will do will lower the quality of everything else you're going to play. You got to live out there on the edge. You got to live out there on the edge of like quality of tone and confidence. Things can be loud and soft, right? You can have notes that you may not intend to play. Like, let's play a note that's not going to sound great with it. But now it does because I delivered it that way, right? That's really nice. What if we play something accidentally that's not supposed to be there? Well, if you sell it, now this note that's not in A major, this is not there. But if you sell it, it can work, right? Now, I can tell you the theory behind why that works, because it outlines a 4 minor triad. 4 minor to 1 resolution is really strong. You can justify it, but it's really not about that so much as it is being in the moment and listening. Listening will help you overcome stage fright. Listening to what you're playing, listening to the groove will help you overcome some stage fright. The groove of music, like in that aspect, it's not typically that you play a fiddle tune on a super shredder kind of guitar, with a bunch of delay and stuff. But when I'm playing that, I'm just trying to feel the groove. So to me, getting my mind off of, is this the right note or not? Am I using the right picking direction or not? Am I playing too hard or too soft or not? Getting my mind outside of those things helps me focus on the pocket. And if you're focused on the pocket and you're listening, you really don't have time to overthink and overanalyze yourself and your nerves, really. That's the red light syndrome. That's the stage fright. That overthinking can really get there. Let me tell you a story about some of the hardest gigs I've ever done. Playing that song on this live stream really was messing with me. I think it's evident. Anytime I have to play a funeral, golly dang, man, that's so hard. It is so hard because you're no longer thinking about music. You're thinking about the person. I've had to do it several times and it's horrible. It's the worst gig ever. You're honored to be there and honored to be doing something, but man, it's awful to play a funeral. My granddad's funeral, I played at that one. It was a nightmare. It was so hard. I mean, I loved him. Music was a part of the thing, and that's why I was playing, right? But just the difficulty level, and that was really high. I played another funeral for my friend Jordan's little brother, and he was a big Willie Nelson fan. Oh, it was so hard because your emotions are so high, and then you overanalyze everything that you're playing and you're hearing. It's just you're so clouded in your mind. And to me, that cloud is what leads to the stage fright. It's what leads to the red light syndrome. If you've ever, a lot of folks have red light syndrome early on because they've not been in front of it enough. And to them, they're hanging their entire self-value on the performance that's going to happen or not happen. And if they ruin the take, they feel like they're not worthy. That doesn't really exist at the upper levels of studio sessions. A lot of my guys that I know play a lot of studio sessions, myself included. When I go to do a session, I do a lot of sessions at Lakeside Studios. And when I go over there to track with Travis, I just feel like I'm going to go hang out with a buddy for 3 or 4 hours. We happen to make some songs, but the hang is there. The comfort of the red light is it's because it's just been done so many times. So it's a catch-22, right? The only way to get past it is to keep doing it. So recording at home can really help you. Recording on your phone with just your camera, your phone camera can really help you internalize those emotions and feeling. It's like the red light stage fright thing will mess up things like your grip strength. Let's get into depths on what it's going to mess up. It's going to mess up your grip strength. Your adrenaline's going to be too high. So obviously your pocket, we'll get back to the pocket thing, but grip strength will be really wonky. And I'm even seeing Jay mention it right now. Slides and bends and things that are grip oriented, when your nerves are wonky, all of that stuff seems to go out the window. You don't slide smooth. You don't slide to the right note. Your pitch is off on your bends. Those kind of things really get in there when because it's in a fight or flight mechanic that your body is doing. And so adrenaline's going up. And so all of your grip and stuff is increasing, even if you think that it's not. And then you start over analyzing it. You're like, oh, I'm gripping too hard. Now you're playing too light. You're just in your own way the entire time. And I know that this sounds like all I'm doing is describing the problem and not presenting solutions. But the solutions are in what I said earlier. The solutions are the fellowship of the people that you're playing music with. It's the most difficult for me to play music to a backing track because there's no fellowship. There's no emotion. I feel like I play better live with other players. I feel like that's where I can turn it on and kick it up because there's other people there to share the game ball. You know what I mean? To share the burden, if you want to look at it that way. It's not really a burden. Share the blessing, really, more than anything. And then finding people in the audience that are smiling, dude, that just helps me just like get it all outside of my head. I used to play a lot of bars and clubs when I was a teenager in college, and we would play and they would just be like all these people drunk and dancing and partying, and I never ever got nervous, ever. It was just like people were just having a blast and I was just providing a soundtrack. With Skankbanger, I'm repping the colors today with Skank. It's like it's never a sense of nervousness because everyone in the audience is having such a great time, and it's a party. And that's the same energy that I have playing with my friends, on Shiprocked is a great example, or playing with Gary LeVox. It's like you go kick off What Hurts the Most or Life is a Highway and those kind of things. It's like, you just see people just loving the music, and it helps pull your mind away from those fight or flight mechanics. It puts you back in a spot of comfort and fellowship. And man, Joe's nailing it. Just deep breaths. Yeah, thankfulness. All this kind of stuff really, really helps. Jeff's saying, I started choking the neck, screwing up the vibrato. Yeah, it's like just not being in a hurry and realizing that you got time to get to notes. I'm just not in a hurry to get there, right? That's where a little delay can come in and be nice. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just listening to it. Like, there's no stage fright right now because I'm talking to an audience and playing for an audience, and it's something that's shared, and it's not a sense of, oh God, I hope I don't hit the wrong note. That's what'll get in there and get you in trouble and do the things we're talking about. Where now it's like, now you're tense in your right hand and all your technical facility stuff goes away. That's a big one too, right? I'm going to grab a different guitar. Actually, I'll stay on this guitar. It's fine. Let's hit some comments in here. Timothy's saying, I've never done funerals. Plenty of benefits, though, and they're rough enough. I can't imagine a funeral. Yeah, it's really, it's a lot. It's a lot. The audience is listening. Yeah. Here we go. Wrong notes should be played as loudly as right ones. Well, you just got to play with that conviction, right? Yeah. Fat Thor is in the house. He says, Andy, I saw you at the Dallas Guitar Festival. You didn't hit a bad note the entire set. Thanks, brother. It was a fun set, and one of those shows where I was like, yeah, I felt good. Braxel is saying, Andy, did you do well economically at Guitar Sanctuary? I want you to come back. I hope you don't mind me asking. I'd love to come back. I think I think it's fair to say that we could come on, work something out to come on back. Guitar Sanctuary says, speaking of, if I scroll up just a little, it says, if you can, talk about the practicing standing up so that you're more prepared for playing on stage. Actually, it's funny you say that. That was going to be like the part 2 of today's live stream, was like what it means to practice as performance. That helps eliminate stage fright and red light syndromes as well. For me, red light syndromes, this is my home. Like, I spend more time in this room than any other room in the house. So everything's kind of comfortable. So red light syndrome doesn't really hit me when I'm working down here, but going into the performance side of it, if you've got a big gig like a Dallas Guitar Festival, like a Guitar Sanctuary, on tour, whatever that may look like, setting up your situation to where you're playing as performance. There's like part 1, 2, and 3 of this. Part 1 is use the gear in the way it's meant to be used live. Oftentimes I have recording mode, which means that I'm isolating just a certain signal chain. If I don't want to use, like, for sure when I'm recording, I record the amps dry and I use the delays post, which is to, so I can control those things in a post editing world. That's not how I use my stuff live. So for me, part one is setting up the gear. Like the rig I'm playing through right now is the rig that I played through at Guitar Sanctuary. Now it's not the same exact head. This is my Sir SL68, but I'm using an SL68 and my pedal board. And I actually played this guitar at Guitar Sanctuary. This is the Dan Huff inspired guitar. And across the bottom of the unit, down here below the camera shot, is where I have all my pedals, and it's set up just like, I mean, it's just how the rig is set. So everything is set up as I would play the show and perform. So when I'm going to practice through the tunes, it's different than when you write the tunes and you're able to stop and start from verse to chorus, rebuild, re-grab a different guitar, rebuild the signal chain, those kind of things. This is very much practicing as in how it's going to go. It's like I'm going to use this sound on the verses, and then for the solo, it's going to be a different sound from there. So I'm able to do, the gear is the way it's going to be when I'm looking down on stage. Now, number two would be practicing, like we just mentioned, standing up, having the guitar hanging in the position that it's going to hang in. My guitar doesn't sit as high as it does when I'm sitting down. So a lot of things that are a little more available when I'm sitting down. These kind of things get a little bit harder when the guitar gets farther away and the hand angle changes. All of the circus trick licks get exponentially more difficult when that's the case. I'm going to switch guitars just because I haven't played. Oh, what happened to my camera? My camera messed up. Give me just a second to figure out what's going on with that. Are we still connected here? It looks like this camera went dark. Let me turn this off and turn it back on again and see if we got something. I'm not sure what happened there. The small camera is working, but the large camera isn't. Well, that's interesting. Give me just a second to try to figure out what's going on here. I don't know why that's the case. Yeah, I'm checking OBS. I don't know what happened. Everything seems plugged in like it should be. I'm not sure. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every cable's plugged in. Nice. I don't know what exactly went wrong here. Give me just a second. I'm going to go around to the back of the rig. So it looks like we're going to unplug this cam link and plug it back in and see if that helps solve the issue. Okay. We're back. All right, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why that did that. Camera had stage fright. Yeah, sure did. It said, quit putting me on the spot, bro. Okay, now we're good. Is audio and everything working good here? Okay, sorry about that. Okay. That made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yeah. We were talking about having the guitar hang at the correct distance, and practicing standing up now changes that equation. Now, from there, the next evolutionary step is to, this sounds crazy, but if you don't wear normal clothes like a hoodie and a ball cap or whatever, and a t-shirt on stage, wearing and hitting run through in dress rehearsal, I always wear like mirror aviators. I've been wearing them for years on stage. So I've been practicing at home with mirror aviators on, because when I look down and see the pedals and see the lights and see everything, I want it to be the same. The good thing about sunglasses on stage is it helps cut down on that like intense glare into the eyes, you know? So all of that rehearsal side of the conversation, that is introduced. And the reason I'm talking about it, sorry, I got flustered. The reason I'm talking about it is because practicing in that manner will decrease your anxiety of performance on stage, right? It'll lower that like high stress level of, man, I'm in my costume, or like with Skankbanger, we do full costumes, you know, or I'm in my stage clothes, or we're playing the Grand Ole Opry and I'm really dressed up. Like, it just makes it what you're already used to, and your body is already used to the way everything feels, right? And it's not, it's having those, setting those parameters of like, this is what I'm used to doing all the time. This is how I play guitar all the time. So nothing's really that different. So I can just have a good time and enjoy the performance, right? Right. That orange one is bonkers. Yeah, it's pretty killer, isn't it? Yeah, it's a pretty killer guitar. Yeah, it's really killer. Let's hit some of these questions right quick. Andy, best tips for improving writing and breaking out of the same old chord progressions and changes, right? Like that's a whole, maybe we do that for next week. We do a whole live stream on writing next week. That'd be good. I hope you come back here again before the year is out. I'd love to. Yeah, a lot of people saying it's like McLaren. This is actually the color from the Huracan Gallardo Aventador. This is the Lamborghini Borealis. I know it looks kind of like the Papaya from the McLaren. Very similar kind of color. Yeah. Yeah. Behind the scenes here says, Andy, I spent the last few evenings learning the first 1.5 minutes of Forgotten Secrets. I love it. It's thanks for the killer tune. Yeah, for sure. Maybe we try to make a lap through it and play it here in a minute. But yeah, we talk about the how to maintain that stage fright thing, especially with like high difficulty music. Like Forgotten Secrets has got a lot of hard, difficult stuff in it. It's a challenging tune, and a lot of my tunes are challenging. Tying back into what we were talking about with Guitar Sanctuary, there's a really challenging section. Well, basically all of Free Range Chicken is challenging, but there's a challenging section where I've got to go from the intro riff, which is kind of like the turnaround, the main riff. It's got that whole Brent Mason thing, and coming out of the Brent thing, and it goes into all the tapping stuff. That to me is something that I have to practice live, as in my studio, and stand up and have everything right, because that's just like a section of the song where I'm juggling chainsaws. It's going from pickup selection, changing the controllers to go from the country tone to the overdrive tone to the shred tone, all in a matter of back to back to back. So that's something that has to be rehearsed in order to kind of keep that thing fresh, regardless of as if I could play any individual piece of it or not isolated. It's one thing to play it isolated. It's another thing that it's all assembled together and you're playing it as a tune, right? So Knees Hurt is saying, I think if you can hum or sing a note, you can get good at ear training. The only tone that comes out of my mouth is the open A string, right? Yeah. Yeah. Why don't we take a... can you explain? Bo Jeffers is saying, can you explain practicing fast? I've heard you speak of it before. Yeah, let's do it. So the practicing fast versus learning it. If I've got to learn something, let's learn something together. If I've got to learn... It's like the Marriage of Figaro thing, right? If I'm learning it, I'm thinking of it from an aspect of acquiring, right? So I don't know the notes. I've got to learn what they are. So I've got to learn the best fingering to use with all that. But that's not practicing, that's learning. And then you got basically three phases. You've got learning, practicing, and rehearsing. Those are like the three phases of it, right? So if I'm going to practice this, and I've got to play it at tempo, right? Let's say that section's giving me some problems. Let's say that I can't really play that as good as I want to. I'm not going to play it like this. Because if you look at it, I'm trying to get this camera over here where we can see this right hand better. In the small camera. If I'm playing this slowly, you see I start messing it up when I'm playing it slow. If I play it slowly, the mechanics from both hands are so different than what needs to be played at tempo. Like if I play it fast, just look at that right hand. Those mechanics are so different that I need to get my hand used to what those mechanics are. Look how wide the swing is slowly. And if I was standing up, I would need to practice it in that manner too, because that's a different feeling. They're so different from what the slow mechanic is. So that's the difference in practicing versus learning versus practicing, and then rehearsing versus practicing. Rehearsing means put the shades on, put the big brimmed hat on, put the sport coat on, stand up here in front of the pedal boards and let the amp and turn everything up loud and rehearse it. Super different, right? Let's try some Forgotten Secrets. This guitar does sound good. I will say that. It do sound good. Yeah. A shreddier version than normal. I think when I look down and I see this orange guitar, it's like, let's shred. A little bit shreddier than normal. Which is okay, right? Yeah. They don't all need to be the album version, right? Yeah. So Devin says, if you want to get way better at speed, getting hands synchronized, start flat picking. For sure. Flat picking is how I got started on all this stuff. And I think a reason why I have a bit of an advantage over the stage fright thing. I started so daggum young on bluegrass tunes that I would just I'd sit around and play these things. I still sit around and play bluegrass tunes. I relearned the Windy City Rag on mandolin yesterday. Posted it this morning, but I would sit around and play these kind of tunes, right? So like those tunes are really fun and bouncy, and they're the kind of thing that requires a lot of facility, but you end up listening to the tune, right? Like that's the thing that I go back to in like overcoming the stage fright, overcoming the fear of recording, is like really just listen and enjoy the tunes that you play. Like get the tune, play the tune so many times that you hate it. Then you're probably pretty close to being able to play the tune. Let me show you an example of something that I'm working on that's not super polished yet, but it's getting there, and it requires multiple pieces of the puzzle at the same time. So this is where I'm about to expose like my comfort levels. Is like, I haven't played this in front of people, so am I going to get nervous and hit some bad notes? Is stage fright going to overcome me? I don't know. I don't really care. Like, we're hanging out together and you guys are with me in the fellowship and the community. So who gives a crap, right? Like it's a hang. So now stage fright is gone. It's just that simple, right? It's like overcoming stage fright by realizing, hey, we're all hanging out together. So let me show you this thing I've been working on. It's the Redbone song, Come and Get Your Love. Now, the bass line's kind of interesting. And the chords are like 2, 5, 1, 6, right? Melody line is hey, hey. Kind of like that. So if you got both of them going, so let's right? So it's a matter of like just sitting around and noodling and then getting it to where it's just a hang and you're not really over worried about playing it in front of anybody or not. It just eliminates those kind of fears of, is it good enough? The reality is it's never going to be good enough, or it's always going to be good enough. It's kind of like both at the same time, right? Like, you can't really worry yourself to death of if something's ready or not. It's just got to be what you want to play at that time. Do you want to share it or not? It's got to be more about that. Do you want to share it or not? And I think that helps eliminate the stage fright thing. Is like comfort in like what you want to do with that moment in time and who's there to share that moment in time with you. This sounds really like hippy dippy, but it's not really meant to be. It's not really meant to be so existential, but like it kind of is that. It's like, does my life hang in the balance of our hang right now? Well, if it does, let's just have a good time. You know, lower those like adrenaline stress levels. You know what I mean? Devin says, do you find YouTube has helped you out? Or what was your first YouTube video compared to now? I find the opposite. I feel like my live performance has helped me be YouTube guy. My first YouTube videos were garbage because I was just using a phone and I didn't know what I was doing with gear, and like video gear is a whole different ball game of amps and stuff. Like I've been comfortable with this world for a long time. This world, like these things, way crazier. Live streams, all these kind of things are way more intense for having a professional looking YouTube channel. Something that I wasn't used to, you know. I was used to this world for a long time. Diego says casually shreds while talking. That's such a bad habit. I apologize. I sometimes I catch myself talking and playing, and I realize it's not really a respectful thing to do. Let me share my perspective on that with you. When somebody's talking to me and they're playing their guitar, I'm like, you're not really zoned in, are you? And I say that because when I'm talking and I'm playing guitar, I'm not really zoned in either. So, you know, it's something I try to be conscious of, but I still catch myself noodling when I'm hanging out. And I was just, I did it just now. I don't even know what I was playing, but I was doing the bad habit thing. Fat Thor in the house. Cheers, my friend. Always good to see you at the live streams. Thanks for hanging out with us. He says, how much setup did you do to get the Sir to play like butter? I literally pulled it out of the box. Factory setup. Same with the purple. The only thing that's different with the ones that I use is I use a 3-spring setup. Now, I have noticed that the new ones are shipping with 3 springs. So I have 2 in a V like that, and then 1 down the middle. And I use 9 to 46 gauge strings. But as far as the setup, it's factory. I think the Sir factory setup feels incredible. There's enough there to where I can get under it, you know. There's enough there where I can get under it, but there's also like, it's a low enough action that like really silly, those kind of licks are still available too, right? It still feels like I can do some circus trick stuff. It's not high. I would consider it very low. I consider it very, very low. Right. Okay. The audio is distorted. What did it change? Is it still messed up? I'm not sure. It's still messed up. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm gonna have to just get off stream and chase this down. I apologize. I don't know what is changing. It's saying the stream's bit rate is lower than recommended bit rate. Let me